Momo, Momo, Momo's going to kill you. Momo, Momo, Momo's going to kill you. At night she'll come when you're in bed. In the morning you will be dead. Momo, Momo, Momo's going to kill you. Do you want a surprise? Look in her eyes. I won't lie. You're going to die. Momo, Momo.
Coming to from the divided states of America.
It's the Bob and Bob Show.
Momo. This figure has bulging eyes and a creepy smile. Police officials say it advises kids to inflict self-harm or she'll put a curse on them. One of the most recent warnings is from officials in the UK this week, calling it a suicide game concealing itself within other harmless-looking games played by children.
Plus, watch out for this image. It is it's awful. Parents are warning others about a new wave of the Momo challenge, urging kids to commit violent acts, including harming themselves or others. This image is of a sculpture with bulging eyes. It's your first clue to be concerned.
Fear is one of the most powerful human emotions. While highly useful in situations where threat of immediate harm exists, it is the most debilitating and dangerous of emotions when present unnecessarily. Fear can be used as a tool to manipulate others, and how those in positions of power, past and present, have effectively used fear to control certain aspects of society.
Hey, what's up out there, people? You are on the Bob and Bob Show, and I'm here as always with the bearded one.
Yo.
And I also have Chops and Jay Styles in the house. How you guys doing?
What up?
Hey.
Hello.
So, Momo. Seems like I keep seeing it across my news feed.
Yeah.
And, we've seen other weird stuff happening, like that Pokemon thing you were talking about.
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go. People are walking out in the traffic and all that.
Yeah.
Bunch of
Momos.
Be smart, people.
Bunch of Momos, man.
Wisen up.
So this Momo is a character that was made by a Japanese artist, and it was a...
Reminds me of Beetlejuice.
It does remind me of Beetlejuice, too.
Or any kind of Tim Burton creation, really.
Yeah. So it's jumping in on kids, little young kids that are playing video games, and they're doing whatever they're doing, and... It tells them to kill people or kill themselves, and it threatens them and shows them violent images and stuff like that. I guess parents are getting all fear-mongered over it.
Well, what was that thing we just heard at the beginning of the show?
That was like the little song that Momo. It's the Momo song.
That was?
Yeah, that's the actual song.
Spank your kids.
I don't know.
Them.
I've seen a lot of stuff like on Facebook articles about this thing existing, but I like, how true is it? How verifiable is all this crap? Is it really on there?
Oh, yes, for sure.
What's crazy about it is, somebody put some time and effort into producing a song and actually creating this.
Yeah, they actually had to have a kid probably do that, too.
I mean, this was a production, and what was the result that they wanted? What's the outcome?
It's cyber terrorism in a different genre.
Well, let me give you a little heads up on exactly some of the facts. I can't even say they're facts because it's coming off the internet, so who really knows?
That's what I'm saying.
But all right, so they say that Momo was created by a Japanese artist that states they have no connection to the WhatsApp because I guess it got hot on the WhatsApp, and they have no connection to it. And it's actually a sculpture created by a company called Link Factory, and they create special effects for movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some of the first reports, I guess the Mexican Computer Crime Investigation Unit says that it originated on Facebook in Tabasco, Mexico, where users were challenged to chat with unknown members. Like little kids we're talking about, they're challenged to chat with people they don't know.
Right,
yeah.
And then on occasion, apparently, Momo responds with violent pictures, and users are threatened if they refuse to follow the commands or dares that it gives to them. So...
it's trying to manipulate little kids into doing bad stuff.
Yeah. Well, reports have popped up in the United States, France, Germany, Argentina, Spain, India, the UK, and Colombia so far. And there has been some children. I think there was one confirmed death, too, a 12-year-old girl.
There's more than that. There's more than that.
Well, that's the only so from some of the stuff that I read, that's what I saw.
Now,
you got to be a smart kid to do that. You know what I mean?
Well,
real smart.
We don't know if it's a kid.
Well-parented kid to just follow a deformed Muppet.
To form
Oh
a
yeah. You know, here's like, how is that thing infiltrating all of these networks? Though, is it just making a profile and then, as you know, under a shroud of a different name and IP, and then bam, all of a sudden it's Momo, like friend requesting people and engaging them and stuff?
Yeah, sickos passing along.
The big boom started on Reddit.
Doesn't everything start on Reddit?
So somebody posted a picture and people were fascinated by it just because it's creepy, right?
Right.
And then somebody took the time to create a story and a urban legend and then posted it on Reddit.
So
from
what?
I read.
It's the cyber
So they
Blair
were trying
Witch.
to get a reaction. Everybody
creating
is
an
so
urban legend.
obsessed with getting likes and shares.
Right.
So they're like, oh, what can I do to get people to so that I have likes and shares? And
Yeah, I want to go viral.
and that's what happened.
Do you think
And
that's what the motive is? Just likes and shares?
initially? But see, this thing has evolved.
Okay.
Right. So it started out as somebody took a picture of the sculpture. It was actually on display at an art museum in
Right.
Japan.
Yeah.
Somebody took a picture,
Wow, that's art in Japan.
and then somebody, and then
You should see some of the other stuff that's art in Japan.
you see 2 girls, 1 cup.
Yeah.
Anyhow. So
That's about the same thing as that picture. I'd rather watch that video.
I've watched it
Bolt-
many times.
I'm sure you did there.
That's old
I
news
like
these
soft
days.
serve, man.
Yeah. God.
Well, it's become a suicide challenge.
Well, and that's the thing. And we were
What's
kinda
the challenge
discussing-
about that?
What is the
How
motive?
do you
Like-
win that?
Dude, there could be more
Right.
than one
Opposite
Momo. This could be it could be a thing, like you were saying, start off on Reddit to get attention, and then somebody else might have been like, let's take this and make it our own.
Well, that's exactly
There's like
what's happened.
50, or maybe not even 50, but like 5 diabolical people. Like, let's see if we can get people to kill themselves.
The
It's-
Momo posse.
It's like an after-school special, like weird fringe murder show, but in real life. You know, there's like 5 people that are creating these Momo profiles and trying to infiltrate everything and just reach as many people as possible and see if they can get anybody to listen to them. That's basically what it is. Like,
Or get likes.
see how
Yeah.
far
Want likes.
see how far away
Let's
they can
push
get it
the
on the
envelope.
news.
that's so weird, getting likes.
Yeah, it's people live these false lives online. You know.
Oh yeah, I know.
And it's all about getting likes and how popular am I? And part of the reason that the repercussions of this Momo thing is because of that culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How can I stand out amongst the crowd? How can I share what I'm going to do in this Momo challenge?
It
The
all
whole-
started with Jackass.
The drive for individual prominence and attention and likes and stuff on social media is largely where a lot of outrage culture comes from.
Well, this is where the millennials and they're apparently they are ranking pretty high on the depression scale. now.
Why wouldn't they be? Dude?
Yeah, so they post something, nobody likes it, then all of a sudden they're crying in their safe space over
Right.
it. You know
Well,
what I mean?
Because their whole life they've been told that they can be anything, they can have anything,
Yeah.
they can get anything they want, and then they get to the real world.
Well, there's a chemical dependency involved in those likes and stuff too. The
It's
act
an
of-
addiction.
yeah, it is psychologically exactly
Just like
the
smoking
same.
crack.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Neurologically, your brain sends out the same chemicals.
You get dopamine and serotonin.
Yeah,
from it.
when you see the like.
Yeah.
And
Oh, somebody just
are
alerted.
peop-
You get a rush.
Yeah.
It's actually a
we all
physiological thing.
Yeah, we all know there's certain people on Facebook where it's blatantly obvious that they are just trying to boost.
Yeah, they're fishing for attention.
Yeah, and that a lot of that though is just that is the addiction playing out. They need that serotonin and dopamine hit so bad because there's something else in their life that is draining it out. Apparently,
They're lacking.
Yeah.
You got a certain person. Everybody's got they got these categories of people. You got the oh woe is me, my life is falling apart person.
right.
They've got
The pity baiter.
Yeah, they've got the my life is
Boo-hoo,
great.
boo-hoo.
Look what I accomplished.
Yeah,
They got the
the inflated.
Look
Yeah.
at me.
the person that's looking for the humble compliment. I just felt like doing this today. Snap a picture, waiting for everybody to comment like, "Oh my God, you look so pretty."
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, so
And they got all them-
these categories. You got the political debaters.
That
I'm
would be
one of
me.
those.
Yeah.
Me too.
A lot of us. So
The master debaters.
yes, yeah. Well, you.
Yeah, masturbator chops.
For me personally, the whole thing about debate is, I mean, I would like to compare it to something like the Leather Apron Club or like the Green Dragon Tavern. What it is it's a bunch of regular guys that live in this world, more or less just middle American guys that are getting together and discussing things that we see going on in society around us.
It's our
I don't
local
ca-
VFW.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Well, the Leather Apron Club was Ben Franklin's club. That was that. It's like, that was their term. Leather apron was their term for blue collar. The men that worked for a living wore leather aprons. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the Green Dragon Tavern is where America was kind of born, dude. These guys all got together and started looking at all the paradigms of everything around them and saying, we can do better than this. And they started think tanking and organizing a government that became the Constitution of the United States, man.
The Green Dragon. I wonder if there's any opium involved in that.
That's what it was called, though. Isn't that crazy?
Well, Green Dragon, yeah.
Well, we're failing to realize, too. I mean, we're looking at the social aspect of it, but, actually, from a social aspect, we got to look at the fear factor.
Yeah.
And what it does to parents and what it does to people who are seeing this crazy-looking monster thing coming across their feed.
This is bigger than just something trying to get likes. This is taking it to a whole new level. This is a sociopath getting off on people doing dangerous things to themselves that he made them do.
Well, we don't even know exactly, there's the organic reason that it happened from some psychopath, But then you can look at power structures and they can say to themselves, well, hey, we can use this to scare people. Maybe we can get some internet censorship because of this.
Yeah, you're getting into beta tests maybe now.
So now they're fishing and they're trying to see what kind of response they're going to get.
Yeah,
I never thought about it like
public
that.
safety is always the alibi of tyrants, man. That's why that's the checks and balances.
This doesn't have to be some shadow government psyop that they're doing. This could be something organic, as it seems.
It's just capitalizing on something that's already there.
Yeah. So now you have a bunch of parents and
look how dangerous this can be. We need to.
Rules of censorship.
That's how you take away. We were talking about positive and negative rights on the last show.
Yeah,
that is how governments and power structures in general get away with taking negative rights away from the population, because every time a power structure or government takes away negative, like we were saying, negative rights are already there. They're already there, but they can
Wouldn't
be
they
taken
be
away.
positive rights? I'm not understanding.
No, positive rights require an obligation by everybody else. Negative rights are already there, but they can be taken away by power structures and government. The best way to do that is to capitalize on fear-mongering so the people readily hand it over.
Yeah, this isn't something new either.
Of course it's not.
It's been used forever.
Every time a power structure takes negative rights or liberties from a population, the power structure then gets that extra power and the population has less. That's how an entire population, it's like the boiling frog, the foot in the door thing. It's little by little in increments, and before you know it, you're under serious tyranny.
Yeah, well, they willfully give up their rights because they're scared. That's where the fear comes in,
Exactly.
Oh my God, terrorists are going to come get me. So let's get rid of the weapons and guns. They're going to shoot up schools,
Right.
That's another way to look at it, All of a sudden somebody shoots up a school and everybody wants to get rid of guns,
Yeah, even if you don't, you can use a situation that's already going on. You don't necessarily need to launch a false flag. If something convenient just happens to come along that'll serve your narrative.
Yeah.
Like this Momo thing, internet censorship, be vigilant.
I mean, I'll be honest.
Regulations are not a terrible thing.
No, I'm not saying they are. I'm saying regulations have to be regulated.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always multi-layered, you
right.
know. That's
but
what
we
makes
could
all
be
this
completely
complicated.
overthinking it, and it could just be some sinister person out there.
Sure, we just don't know.
Right.
Well, what I'm saying is
if you look at it from a power structure standpoint,
right, which is what we always do.
Yeah, because we have controllers, and whether they're financiers of whatever or whatever, they're in government, and they can make laws against our freedom. They are out there, and they are looking for avenues to do things to us.
Something like this Momo thing, if it becomes outrageous enough, or really a real threat of any measurable way, it can be used as a tactic to start deepening surveillance state and censorship state
but
stuff.
I mean, there's already been horrific acts done. I mean,
they
don't need to go about it another way to create another thing. I mean, obviously mass school shootings doesn't work. So, they're not going to say, well, let's create this thing so that people commit suicide.
I'm not saying that some power structure created that. I'm saying they can capitalize on it.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Well, if you look at like
I think
the World Trade Center, I mean, this is what happens when you get this fear going around. You get a bunch of people after the World Trade Center went down. They sign up for the military. They're gonna go fight terrorists.
Yeah,
you
we know a lot of people.
And
that
then
did that, yeah.
behind your back, Bush is passing like the Patriot Act and stuff that like is giving you all kinds of surveillance.
He stands there on the podium like, I promise you, the people that are designing this have your civil liberties in mind. And I'm thinking, yeah, they have our civil liberties in mind to take them from us.
Make sure we don't have very
their
many.
mind the whole time.
Yeah.
Limit those.
That's how it works. And most people don't look at it. They say, hey, well, thousands of people died in that situation, and we need more laws, because that's what happens when you can't figure out a solution. You have to make a law.
Yeah.
We need more laws to restrict people from this and restrict people from that, And those laws are they're going against our freedoms.
Yeah, well, if you want to look at the base of violence and human suffering, too, nothing is immune from it. For example, democide. Democide is when governments kill citizens. Democide is still the number one non-natural cause of human death on planet Earth. And it has been.
Yeah, because they do
for
it
a very,
massive
very long
numbers.
time. Yeah, so, people have to be careful when they're looking to government. It's
Government is not an answer. It's not a solution.
Well, it can be in some ways, but people have to be very careful because government's the most dangerous entity on the planet.
That's where individual responsibility to educate yourself,
absolutely,
to put the correct people. There's always going to be leaders, and there's always going to be followers.
Well, yeah, and so all voids get filled.
So let's not blindly follow
demagogues. Yeah,
qualified leaders.
Yeah. Well, we need to be presented with a bunch of them, too.
Well,
so how do people get into that? How do people...
But look.
The system's kind of rigged, man.
I understand that, but you've got to take baby steps in the right direction.
That's all we have.
But the problem is this two-sided, you play the game, somebody starts making progress, and then after 2 terms, people are sick of it, and they get somebody else in there on the other side
who just trashes everything they did,
and then they undo everything.
Yeah, that's another reason why that system doesn't work, and it's largely smoke and mirrors anyway. That bipartisan situation we're in right now is walking into the basement one step at a time. It's always the lesser of two evils. It's always there's never any real change ever. Anywhere.
It's always going to be the lesser of two evils because people have difference in opinion. So you have to compromise.
Well, people can't even decide on what evil is.
Dude, here's the kicker.
That comes back to a morality problem.
There is no lesser of two evils. They're both evil.
Right.
Yeah, there is no compromise.
Yeah,
that's implied in the word two evils.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Get out of my face with that crap. Like, I hate when I hear that.
There's a reason why Lady Liberty has scales in her hands.
Yeah, to weigh options.
No, it's the balance of power. It's the balance between the population and the state.
That's a
it's
triple
the balance
beam. Don't
between
tell me that.
Corporations
She's got a triple
and the
beam.
population and the state. You know what I mean? It's all about checks and balances. It's all about trying to control the snowball effect of fast fractal movement when one entity gains so much power momentum that they can't be stopped, and you end up with stuff like let's say foreign policy that includes 37 international coups over a 30-year period. Yeah, that's what our taxes are paying for.
Dude, I will say this.
Those damn Russians.
Mm-hmm. I will say this. This Momo character, I mean, it pulled on my heartstrings real quick there, man, because anything that has to do with manipulating children, man.
Think of the children.
I put my guns up and I'm pissed. You know,
parents start being parents. So
but
start paying attention to your kids again.
Yeah.
Well, if your kids
quit reading about
Right.
Momo on your device and look over on the
Don't
other
go
side of
push
the
them
couch
in the corner and
teach your
say, "Hey,
kids
go
something."
play your video games, play your online, get your phone, Stop doing that. Be like, go outside and play. Sit down and find out what your kids
How
are
about
doing.
this? Let's go outside and play.
Yeah.
Let's go outside.
Screen life is a threat to the American way of life. There's no doubt about it. People are nowhere near as productive as they used to be.
No.
People are nowhere near as active as they used to be. It's creating an addiction problem based on the damn screen itself and everything that's coming out of it and going into it. It's crazy. The whole paradigm has shifted. And since 2007, when the iPhone was introduced, man, look how different the world is in the last 10 years.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? Like
you go to like
crazy.
not a grocery store, but you'll go to like out to eat or something, and you'll see a whole table of people just sitting there looking at their damn phones.
Oh, just everything. People's mindset, people's expectations, people's entire perception on reality and the mechanics behind it have shifted over 10 years of screen life.
Oh, I know. You hear somebody laugh at the table, and then they go, "What? I just shared it with you."
Yeah.
Well, tell me.
Just freaking tell me, you jackass.
No, you need to read the whole
Hold on.
article.
Wait till it uploads.
get to
I'm
that.
eating a steak.
Right. Yeah, I'm enjoying the steak. I'll enjoy that article later,
Well,
dude.
the article's about the steak. You better
Yeah, right.
And you better tag me in it.
first take a picture of it and post it to Instagram.
Right.
Give it a like. Put it on your face page.
Face page.
Face page.
That's a new social network. Face page.
Zuckerberg will buy it if it takes off.
He probably already did.
That's what his originally was, and then he stole Facebook.
Right.
Oh, jeez. Technology. It has its ups and downs. So
It's just a tool.
It does help humanity, but it looks like it's hurting it more than it's helping it anymore.
It's all about balance. Everything in the universe is about balance.
It's retarding it is what it's
And
doing.
it's just like we talk about balancing power structures. Technology, in a way, is also another type of power structure, if you want to look at it that way. It can be used in any direction, in any way. It's all about what we do with it. You know what I mean? It's like how Ben Franklin said, what we've given you, ladies and gentlemen, is a republic, if you can keep it. Well, you could even take that to Albert Einstein being like, what I've given you, ladies and gentlemen, is the theory of relativity, if you can manage it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and the thing is you start looking for solutions for these things, and then what happens? Well,
Trial and error.
And then then it starts infringing on your freedom.
Uh-huh. It's always a back and forth.
Well,
I want more.
So this idea that we are there's gonna be laws, there's gonna be rules. You can't just be universally free and to do whatever you want.
Right. Well, here's like the root of the framework of like, when I say Republican, I'm not talking about political parties. When I say Democratic, I'm not talking about political parties. I'm talking about the idea of a republic.
Right.
And a democracy, okay?
Yeah.
So we're not talking American politics. It's just, in general.
Yeah.
Like, what you have with the whole point of a republic is that it is governed by rule of law. You have to have law to maintain that balance, because the law, now this is pre-corruption. The law...
Pre-cronyism.
There's always going to be corruption.
Well, it has
Always
to be
been.
kept in check by law, but it's all about who's making the laws. But so the law is supposed to protect, the republic is supposed to protect the individual from the state and from other individuals, and the state from power structures like corporations, and corporations from power structures like the state. It's all based on law. It usually almost always turns into oligarchy, because we haven't found a way in the world yet to have any kind of government or power structure that doesn't have...
Because people are greedy.
Right, because there's human greed.
End of story.
So it's something that
the
constantly
system
has
we
to
have
be checked.
Is the best one yet that they found.
Yeah. It's better than democracy. It's better than a monarchy. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day...
Well, it has to have checks and balances, which isn't happening.
we don't have. We've let it fall into oligarchy.
Yeah, and we've let outside sources fund it, and they write the laws now. Now it's a corporatocracy, and they write the laws.
Woodrow Wilson screwed up bad.
So
dude.
when we talk about the lesser of two evils, because I know you hate hearing that,
I don't.
there is a group of people that have been elected that are trying to get money out of politics.
Duh.
Okay. So, but
They're
what
always
I'm
gonna
saying
be
is
there.
this. So
Boom, boom,
we're always
boom.
talking about how there's, it doesn't even matter, whether we talk about Republicans or Democrats. It doesn't matter. I don't want to hear lesser of two evils. Baby steps. You gotta start somewhere.
How about
I agree with that.
abolishing the Republican and Democratic parties?
Yeah,
It's not going to happen.
Dude, you don't
I know,
even-
but that would be nice, because
You know
I don't
what?
want to sit there.
I know it'd be
this
nice.
freaking
We all
divide.
got ponies and it rains Skittles.
We don't
But
even
it's
have
not
to
gonna
do that.
happen.
Third parties have happened before. Third parties have been elected in before. What really?
It doesn't rain
All
Skittles?
these politicians can say all kinds of stuff, in committees and in front of C-SPAN and all that crap. What it comes down to is that as long as special interest is appointed in government, alphabet soup, bureaucrats, we do not elect them. We have zero say over policy making. We have zero say over most of the policy makers. We have zero say over who is appointed into bureaucracies and what they do. The people that we elect get to choose that. And the people that we elect aren't really working for us. They're working for their party, because they have to toe the party line, or they get blacklisted too. Politics is tricky, man.
So what if one of the parties wants to start regulating and get the money out of politics and starts to be more of an open book.
They can talk about it all they want, and it won't happen because the machine
people
is
are
way
skeptical.
bigger than them. No, because that they have no real control.
How do we know? We haven't done it.
Dude, the people that are paying off all these politicians and the oligarchs and the bankers that run the nation, if you threaten their power, you're done. It doesn't matter who you are, dude. They'll execute presidents if they have to. They've done it.
Yeah, they've definitely
Right,
done it.
yeah.
Executive Order 11110.
Well, here's the
there's-
thing.
Kennedy.
Movements though of groups
Yes,
of people.
You're talking about a systemic change that's slowly starting
That's
to rise,
what-
bubble
yeah.
up. Yeah,
Yes.
of course. So, but here's the thing. Here's why one politician or two politicians or 20 politicians even out of the few hundred aren't going to be able to change anything. The establishment's so much bigger than them. The politicians that are in office, more than Democrat or Republican, are establishment and anti-establishment. Most of them are establishment. Anybody that's anti-establishment, they will do whatever they can to bribe you or threaten you into the establishment. They're up against a monster, a hungry monster. Here's the other thing. As long as lobbying, bribery is legal and unpunishable, nothing is going to change. As long as politicians are allowed to just appoint whoever they want to bureaucracies and all this stuff is completely unchecked by the American people because we have no say or control
think
over
about
any of it.
about a president.
Nothing is going to change.
Think about a president like Donald Trump appointing somebody to the
Right.
Supreme Court. Well, that's going to be for his benefit or whatever he needs. His agenda is doing.
Well, it's because we had Mitch McConnell, the Republican, block the nomination that Obama had,
Listen to this.
which there was nowhere near the amount of controversy.
This is dog
over
and
his.
pony toast. Pony show.
Pucka
stuff.
pucka.
Check this out. There. I steal your memory, dude. You know. Well, so I just lost my train of thought because of my memory.
Look,
got
it's my
stolen.
little Momo.
But you know what? Here's the thing. Here's the other thing.
Go kill yourself.
The head of the FDA, for example, is an appointed position. The FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, that's a tremendous amount of power.
Right.
Do you know who he is?
Somebody that likes to
Dirty
pump
Sanchez.
chickens full of hormones.
Dude, he's
I'm
a
sure.
former he's a former CEO of Monsanto.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
also an investor in GlaxoSmithKline, I think
yeah.
it is.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's the head of the FDA.
I know.
We have no control over that.
Well,
it's
remember,
a full-on corporatocracy.
Donald Trump was going to empty the swamp. I'm only going to hire the best people.
Who believed
It's
that?
going to be a huge change.
People need to stop believing just empty crap, dude.
Going
Back
to the
it up with
best
something.
Home Depots to
Even
hire the
Bernie
workers.
Sanders,
Yeah.
AOC, all them. I don't care what they say. I'm watching what they do.
Well, look, it starts with saying something. You have to.
You're right
you have
about
to,
that.
You have to give a message first.
Sure.
And then people have to either agree or have some faith, or we can
It's real
say
easy. It's really easy.
you can
Yeah,
say
but
it's
all
never
you-
going to happen.
All you got to
It's
do
real
is,
easy.
just like Bernie Sanders, you just say, the income inequality of this country is blah, 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 blah,
It's not
blah.
even correct in that. He's wrong about that.
What he's doing is he's catering to a certain group of
Sure.
people, and
He doesn't even have to be right.
he doesn't even understand the economics of the whole situation.
Well, even if he does,
All
he's
you-
just
Pretty
he's
sure he
talking
does.
through
all
his
you got to
teeth.
do. Well, I seen Ron Paul break him down so hard. Like,
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders has no idea, and what he's doing. Actually, what he's doing is he's just catering to people, just like Trump did. I'm going to build a wall, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. He's going to cater to him. If he gets into office, it's not going to happen.
This is why
Yeah, but
I
this
say.
is the thing, man. You're acting like a universal health care and universal education isn't a doable thing. It is
No,
a doable
I'm
thing.
not saying that.
Listen. Neither one of
Yeah,
us is
it
saying
is.
that. Neither one of us is saying that. We're
Because that's
saying-
what he's talking about.
I know. Bernie Sanders getting elected president's not going to bring that. He's not. He has no say in that whatsoever.
Just
None.
a puppet on
What?
the string.
Well,
What?
when you get
Listen.
control of multiple branches of government, that's when you can start actually passing laws.
Yeah, that's true
The
too. But
Republicans had a couple of years to do that now.
now the Democrats have had a few years to do it too, and nobody ever does anything because they're
Obama
not there
passed
to
Obamacare.
Obama passed National Defense Authorization Act, Section 1021 and Section 1022.
Obama made it so much more profitable for the oligarchs that are already in control of medical care.
That
to make
was
even
that
more.
was the Republican.
Yes. Do you see how it
end
works
result.
now? It's always a compromise. It's
Yeah,
always
Obama
one more
says,
step
"I
down
don't
to the
wanna
base."
I know,
sign-
but look, universal health care and Medicare for all, there's no compromise. It is what it is. It's a single-payer system.
Yeah, well, nobody's
End of
backing
story.
it though. Nobody.
There are many people that back that.
Not people that can actually make it happen. Nobody is.
You can't even do that until you get
The
the financiers
Democratic
out of
Party
the situation,
backs
man.
that.
They don't really though.
They do.
They're not doing anything to make it happen. Nobody is.
They're not in office. They don't have
There's
control.
no Democrats in office?
No, there's no Democrats anywhere in office.
They have control of the House now.
Hey, what
All right, you guys. Well, it's a halfway point, you guys. Thanks
We're
for
going to
listening.
continue this another time.
Halfway.
Bearded one.
In like 30 seconds.
That's Democrat.
Democrappers, Republicans.
I step outside. You see rain, I see pain, but no more will thy reign in my veins. And then I looked up to see the sun rising, blinded by the light overcoming the horizon. But it doesn't burn my eyes, it fills me with joy. When I thought that this was hell, it was really just a decoy. Now it's on to the early morn, everyone gon' hear this song. Cause what I speak is right, not wrong. I'll never ever be gone, cause I'm forever. Even if my holy temple's 6 feet, my soul will stomp the street, remembering the heat that came from the sun. On that day I dropped my gun, cause my Uzi weighed a ton. Then it all seemed so clear, like I was looking into a mirror. What reflects upon me is what reflects upon your ear. So sturdy my rhyme, that'll put you ahead of your time. You might be packing a 9, but first you need to learn to read the signs. Cause not knowing, it's like jumping out of a plane without a chute. If you hit rock bottom, you should've started from the roof. So can you tell me? Can the sun make it through the rain? Can you overcome the all the heartache and pain? Can you help me through the times I feel like I am going? I feel like I'm going insane. Can you pick me up? Cause I'm feeling low and my soul is tired. And the light broke through the clouds and I knew the day was gonna get much brighter.
Look in my eyes and remember my name. I've been lost but survived through all the pleasure and pain. And now I'm stronger, sometimes I feel I'm going insane. And I don't wanna remember the day the sun went away, cause it was raining cats and dogs for a long, long time. I've seen heartache and loss that makes a grown man cry. So I dug deeper down in my soul than I've ever tried. I grabbed a pen and a pad and started writing a rhyme. And sat down at the back of my room by the window. As the rain on the pane became hi-hats and cymbals. As the thunder and lightning was guiding the tempo. Then the wind through the chimes made the night instrumental. And I was vibing throughout the night and into the day. But I stopped cause I thought I heard some children at play. I looked up, thank God and smiled that the skies were not gray. Yeah, I remember the day that the sun went away. So can you tell me? Can the sun make it through the rain? Can you overcome the all the heartache and pain? Can you help me through the times I feel like I am going? I feel like I'm going insane. Can you pick me up cause I'm feeling low and my soul is tired. And the light broke through the clouds and I knew the day was gonna get much brighter. Everything's gonna be alright.
Mo, don't tell your parents no. Go to school, do your homework, pick up clothes from the floor.
Welcome back to the Bob and Bob Show, second half. We got Styles, Chops, and of course LB with us here.
LB1 Kenobi, LB1 Kenobi, all you other cats are phony.
Back for the 30-minute mustache ride from Bearded Bob.
Politicians, watch what they do, not what they say. They say all kinds of things and they vote a different way. As long as the Federal Reserve is not accountable to the federal government in any way whatsoever, they are controlling everything.
Everything.
As long as they're getting their likes.
As long as they're getting their likes.
So go to the Federal Reserve page on Facebook and like it.
Everybody, 1 million likes.
Go to the Federal Reserve page and click on Momo.
And then go kill yourself.
And click on Momo.
Don't kill yourself. That was a joke.
So we were getting into a bunch of other stuff. What were we talking about before we got
Joe and I were talking
song?
about Bernie and Trump and steps down to the basement.
So we were gonna lead into some democratic socialism. I think you guys were talking
sure.
about, right?
If you got something, fire away, dude.
Well, I mean, obviously,
pew, pew, pew.
Just fired.
I can't fire. You're out of here, Chop. Somebody get him the hell out of here.
You're fired. You're fired.
You're fired.
Right. I had one beer.
So let's talk about some of the characteristics of democratic socialism.
Okay.
The only one, I mean, I know you guys have your research on it or whatever. The one that really gets my goat is there's they
It really strangles my chicken.
You know,
bestiality.
they want to put
Disclaimer.
a cap. They want to put. Okay, you know what? I quit. I'm out of here. You guys.
No,
suck.
no, read
How
it.
am I supposed to drive the frickin' show with you guys acting like idiots?
Everybody
You can't
calm
drive the
down.
show from the back of the bus.
We need a power structure in place.
Jeez. Okay, so I'm just gonna get this out and you guys
Do it.
So they want to put a cap on how much private property can be owned.
Sure.
So that's the one that pisses me off because how much private property are you talking about here? You're
Yeah.
talking about 0.001 frickin' that's all you get property?
25 acres.
Half of Tennessee, that's it.
Half of Tennessee.
What if they're going to put a cap on property that can be owned, they should put the cap on not on any individual, just on power structures like corporations, for example, monopolies,
Yeah, the laws need to be on them, not us.
like they used to be
Yeah.
100 years ago. We're looking. Here's the thing about
Reverse Constitution.
Here's the thing about all the progressive platforms, we'll call them, with the whole socialism movement and things like that. The root of this is that until the foundations of this power structure are not in the hands of oligarchs, it doesn't matter what system we have economically or politically, because the same people still have it. So giving them more power isn't really a solution. It's just shifting the model a little bit, and to their benefit a little even more. The less power the people have, the more power the government has, and the more power the corporations that run the government have, and the banks.
We don't want to give them more power.
No, I know. I don't want to.
Well, I know, but I mean, this thought that we're just giving the government more power. Right now, the guy we got in office is trying to take more power.
Yeah,
and
I know.
is taking more power.
I don't support most of what he
Obama
does.
did it too.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it a little differently.
It's been a slow
slow-moving coup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
you're absolutely right about that.
I think most of our listeners,
boiling frog.
most of our listeners, I'm sure, understand that this left-right paradigm that just pits each other against each other.
Yeah.
I think that most of our listeners know. But if you're a new listener, like, what I'm talking about is the fact that they use Democrats and they use Republicans as this back and forth bickering thing to get everybody all pissed off, and nobody can come to a conclusion on anything. And the people are so spun in circles that they just don't know what to think anymore.
Yeah.
So they vote for whoever they think is the best, which they really don't look at history. They really don't. They say, "Oh, well, he looks like and talks like a good guy, so
Right.
let's vote for him."
Well, a lot
he
of
says,
voters
"I want to
are-
build the wall." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all my friends that I know that like Trump or whatever, they hate me now, or they tend to not talk to me anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty lame.
because I talk smack about Trump,
But you talk about the other side.
but I talk about the other side too.
In fact, we got into it a lot.
Yeah, we
You
did.
were way harder on liberal side. But going back to what you were just saying, the other thing, I like the way he talks good.
It's
What
identity politics.
What Bob and I were talking about is, or they could be the other way, where I like the fact that he's an ass. I like the fact
Yeah,
that
he's not politically correct.
Because
so I like that.
He's going to get stuff done.
It
Yeah, let's get it
identifies
done.
with a large group of people that are sick of being nice to people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of unfortunate, I think.
It is
In a-
totally unfortunate because everybody a lot of Western mindset, just mental philosophy, day-to-day living, it is very self-centric. It is.
Yeah.
And people get confused with the idea of who should have power over the self, and some people think that giving away liberty will give them more liberty, and some people think that I don't know. I just lost.
You
my
got to
thought.
be on. You got to be.
Oligarch. Harry Potter.
I completely lost.
Well,
it.
here's the thing. We got to be.
I had somewhere to go.
You can't be a Democrat. You can't be a socialist or Republican. You have to.
Or an oligarch.
You got to be on Team Reality, dude. Team Humanity. You have to care about humans, and none of these political parties are going to do anything for you.
If
The only thing that's going to happen, the only thing that needs to happen in my perspective is that we have to unite as a people.
Right.
That's the only way we're going to make any positive change. If we depend on a president or Congress,
Demagoguery.
if we
It's never worked.
It's never going to work.
It never has.
So stop being divided because Trump is dividing the hell out of us.
Of course he is.
Obama did too.
They all do.
It's
Obama, divisional in nature.
Obama brought in
It's
the
never
whole
been
socialism.
as blatant as this. Though.
Oh, dude.
This is blatant.
It has been. They used to call each other pig and stuff like that, dude. It's
yeah,
crazy.
but I'm talking about to the American people. I'm not talking about behind closed doors and things like that. I'm talking about to the American people. You know what I mean? This is pitting.
Well, we had a civil war.
Yeah.
We don't need education.
I remember what I was trying to get to.
Goes
now.
back to race and money.
Yeah.
Same thing as today.
Just the mindset.
Hardworks and oligarchs.
The self-centric mindset where
Shalakazams.
It's all about get out of my way. I'm coming through. What if people would be like, hey, you know what? Instead of shoving everybody out of the way, why don't we develop a mindset more like what can I do to get out of your way? And if everybody does that, all of a sudden the world's a much friendlier place. Instead of kicking each other in the butt and trying to get them out of the way, it's more like, hey, I see you coming. I'm going to step aside
and hold the door for you.
Yeah, hold the door for you, kind of thing.
Sir.
And it's not
like the stuff your mom taught you.
Yeah, it's not a self-depreciating thing. No, I mean, take this away from just holding doors, but into everything, everything people do, and their whole mindset about how maybe try to run things more through cooperation instead of competition. And there's always going to be competition and cooperation. Both they exist. The balance is where you want it. So.
Throw it on the triple beam.
The root of that is cooperation, co-op, mutualism.
Right.
Even, and it is a very centric idea if you think about it, because it is neither anarchy nor authoritarianism. It is in the middle of the two, striking a balance. And part of what people don't understand is that Democrats are not on the left and Republicans are not on the right. If you look at a scale of anarchy on one side, which is always temporary, anarchy is always temporary because all voids get filled. Authoritarianism on the other side, which is the natural progression of power structures left unchecked. They always grow and get bigger and more absolute. Where the Democrats and Republicans are is somewhere left of center, closer to authoritarianism and very far away from anarchy. So they're really not that far apart. People just don't look at the big scale. They look at that little half inch where the Republicans and Democrats are, and they're like, the Republicans are on the right and the Democrats are on the left. Yeah, but that's only a half inch of a scale that's a foot long.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I
people
think
need to think bigger.
Let's get some new parties. Where's the People's Party at? Where's we need
Which one's the People's Party? A Tanky's going to say it's the Communist Party. A Libertarian is going to say it's the Libertarian Party.
I say it's the Democratic Party.
The Democratic Party is the People's Party?
Right now it is.
I'm saying that if a presidential candidate got up on stage and grabbed the mic and said, listen, I don't really know what to say because I want to know what you guys want, and start grabbing people out of the audience and put them right up on the podium and be like, what is the things that are really, getting your goat right now?
That's supposed to happen with the media. That's what the media.
God.
No, that's what the media is there for. That's what the part of the freedom of speech
it was
is
there.
all about.
It was there. For
it was
that.
to be the voice
You're
of the
right
people.
about that.
They
and
used
now
to be like
all of
that.
a sudden they're the enemy of the people.
Well, they can be both at the same time.
They can be, but I'm saying that there's a picture being painted here, and people are blindly following it, and it's getting us in a bad situation.
Well, the news,
it's both sides.
Listen,
don't get me wrong, but right now one side's a little bit more corrupt than the other.
Leave the opinions,
in my opinion.
Leave the opinions and commentary to the Bob and Bob Show, because we're not a news network. If you're Fox News or you're CNN, we just want the facts. We don't want your stupid opinion because you're driving a narrative. We don't want to hear it. But if I want to hear commentary and I want to hear some opinions, well, I'm going to tune into the Bob and Bob Show or some other podcast or radio show.
If I would just want to hear
because we're not news. But if you're going to be news and you're
news should be objective.
Yeah.
Well, that requires people to really want to know the news.
And that's another thing is that
That's the problem.
you can pull people on stage and say, what do you want? What you're hearing is what this one guy wants. He's one of 350 million other perspectives, and a lot of people have no idea what they're talking about or confused about even the very roots of these principles and everything. So what it comes down to is like Mark Twain said, if voting mattered, they wouldn't let us do it.
right.
And then there's Joseph Stalin. It matters not how people vote. He who counts the votes has all the say. And that's where the people, it is the responsibility of the people to hold the people that they elect completely accountable.
Well, they're not going to do that as long as they get
representing them.
As long as they get their little button that says "I voted today," they feel like they made a difference.
The people don't hold politicians accountable.
On Instagram.
That's how it becomes a big
share. Like, I need somebody to look at me. Here's my pen.
Yeah, I voted. I don't know for what. I just
I
checked
voted.
the little
Look at
box.
me.
Right. And that's like party line voting. That's a folly in party line voting because you When you vote for a party, you're voting for everything you like and everything you don't like about them. That's the step down the stairs. You know what I mean?
Well,
and they can slip little things into these bills, like we'll give you this and take that. That's how you end up with a debacle, that a compromise that is crap. You take this flavor of poop sandwich and this other flavor of poop sandwich, and you smash them together and do a big stew and put it in a crock pot, and then you're eating poop
delicious.
stew. It's both flavors of poop instead of one or the other.
And there's a little bit of corn. Is there a little bit of corn in there?
Yeah, you got double poop stew, man. You
gotta get your vegetables.
Washington, D.C. is double poop stew because of the party lines, man.
Double deuce stew.
The only party I vote for is the East Coast party, because the East Coast party don't stop.
Yeah.
Thought it was West Coast.
No, we don't live on the West Coast.
You just named the title of a new album, Double Poop Stew.
Double poop.
Yep.
DPS. Wolf.
Double Poop Stew. Good quality music on that
They
one.
call that DPS.
Drop it like it's poo. Drop it like it's poo.
They call that
Drop it
DPS
on my
in the
lap.
Army.
So, you want to talk about some corruption? We have a surge in $100 bills in circulation. So, I don't know how much you guys pay attention to the printing of money.
You're welcome.
What's up with
Did you
what's
print
up with counterfeit bills? They're like, oh, it's only fake. It's only real when we print it.
Yeah.
If you print $100 bill, it's counterfeit. But if they print $100 bill,
mine
it's
are
not.
real.
It's all they're real for us to spend, but they're not real. It's fiat. The whole economy is planned.
Well, they're thinking that the more
Let's just go play with Momo.
well, this moves towards like a cashless society, because they're like, well, if there's actually dollar bills and $100 bills floating around, well, we can't really track that, so we can't tax that, and we can't see what people are doing.
It's the same reason why they took precious metals out of the equation. I mean, FDR confiscated America's metals. Gold confiscation. They called it hoarding, quote unquote. But when it's illegal to own gold U.S. currency because the government, the Federal Reserve, has decided that gold is too valuable for people to hold because they want it.
Well, they're attributing this printing and all this stuff
It's good for the
because
economy.
people are hoarding $100 bills because in case of a financial collapse or something like that.
But it's theirs to hoard.
I understand
And
that.
it's not going to be worth anything.
It's going to be
when it
worth
collapses.
nothing.
Right.
Yeah, that's the end game. Dummies, buy gold.
The more money people are saving,
buy booze, buy alcohol.
Well, nobody
buy
ever
marijuana.
accused this country of being the smartest.
Buy
chip.
canned goods.
listen, if you make everybody a millionaire through redistribution, that's called hyperinflation. All of a sudden,
Your
it is
millionaire's
cheaper.
not worth anything.
Yeah, it's cheaper to wipe your butt with $100 bill than it is to buy a roll of toilet
Yeah.
paper.
I
Well,
hoarded
that's like Venezuela.
$20,000.
If you want to go
It's
buy
hyperinflation.
if you want to go buy a gallon of milk, you literally have to carry
Right.
a briefcase full of bills.
Right, and that can happen.
And that's-
that can happen either in either respect with a totally like laissez-faire market where corporatists can just do what they will and monopolize the whole freaking world, and it turns into basically a despotism of that sort. The other thread would be where government monopolizes everything. That's called communism, and that causes the same problem. So neither one of those extremes works. We can all agree on that, I think.
Well, first it's a credit card, then
I'm
it's
a
a chip in your,
communist now.
then it's a chip in your credit card, then it's a chip in your skin, then it's a retinal scan, then it's a facial recognition. I mean,
I'm
and then
gonna-
nobody carries any cash anywhere.
I'm going to trade bear claws and seashells, man.
Oh, jeez.
What else is new, Bob?
Mustache rides.
God.
Mustache
Hey, it's
rides
worth-
for milk.
It's worked until now. I mean,
Bearded butts. So, all right, back into some more stuff. Apparently, we know that Trump had a meeting with Kim Jong, whatever the hell his name is.
his idol, yeah.
A dictator, another dictator.
I'm going to take the guy at his word.
Government lasers.
Well, he's like, sometimes you just gotta walk away from the deal. So obviously, North Korea does not want to denuclearize whatever the hell, you know what I mean?
Why are we even messing with them?
I don't know, because it's a big freaking ploy to
Because
keep people
he
interested.
idolizes people with that much power.
Yeah, I
He
understand
wants to
that.
go hang out, man.
It's like Reagan and Gorbachev, only North Korea is an isolationist little country that, means pretty much nothing to anybody other than us messing with them and then poking us, and we're their boogeyman and they're ours. And
Yeah, they're crazy over there, and really, what it really is the fact that he wants to make it look like he's taking care of his campaign promises.
And what was that promise?
I don't know. I don't remember him talking about North Korea or whatever.
Denuclearize.
But
Denuclearizing North Korea.
Yeah.
But why?
They're just a tiny little blip on the map, dude.
Because of fear mongering. Again,
Yeah.
it goes back to
I
it.
agree.
They make it a bigger
Momo.
issue than it really is.
It's a great way to
Nuclear
distract.
weapons
and
are a no.
It's a great way for a nation to be like, well, we have the military-industrial complex for this reason. We need to deal with these guys.
Yep.
And they drag it out as long as possible because there's a lot of money being made.
Or just ignore them.
Well, that's what a sensible. I
Yeah,
would.
just
if you made
ignore
me,
them.
If you made me president of the United States right now, you know what I would do?
The foreign policy on North Korea would be, we have none. We don't care.
Exactly. There wouldn't be any.
Well, either way, if you want to go over to all these other countries because there's Assad, blowing.
I wouldn't deal with him either.
I'm just saying, if we're going to do that, why can't we go to North Korea? Why can't we go to Mexico?
Because if we
there's
get
like
rid of-
humanitarian things happening there, but we can't go there. Why is that?
Well, if we get rid of North Korea, then they can't be the boogeyman anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe some of the stuff that they do for
I think I already ruined that.
for shock value to get our attention, maybe they'll realize that doesn't work anymore.
Well, it's that fear mongering thing, and you look at the millennials; they need their safe spaces. They're all scared and crap. Imagine the next generation how scared they're going to be about everything.
Well, Joe just hit something, man. What you just said is that it has the power that we give it.
Right. Just like terrorism.
Yeah.
Just like terrorism.
Right.
Does.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Well, you see a couple car full of Mexicans at the gas station, and they look kind of strange to you. But does anybody say anything to them?
I don't say nothing.
They're sitting there speaking Spanish in the line, getting ready to pay for their gas, and they're talking smack about the Americans all around them.
How do you know?
But nobody knows.
They might just be talking about
Huevos
the new Blaze
rancheros.
Doritos.
Dude, they're talking about huevos rancheros. I mean,
But confront somebody. Like, say something. People are too scared. You stand in line.
Wait.
Nobody talks to anybody
Hey, you
anymore.
Mexican.
Everybody's staring at their phones, and oh no, it's a Mexican. Oh no, it's a guy with a freaking thing on his
who
head.
cares? It's a Mexican.
How about we introduce ourselves to people
Yeah.
and quit profiling people, and maybe we'll find out that, hey, you know
It's
what?
funny too because he does talk to people.
I do.
Well, he always has. He always has.
I had the story about the
Gotten in
Mexican.
some fights because of that.
Yeah, I have, yes. But, I try. Like the Mexicans I talked about in the show that, installed some carpet here for us or whatever. And, they were talking about MS-13, and we were drinking Coronas. And
Oh, you racist bastard.
they were just like,
Let me go get what you want. Well, you want a cerveza?
No,
Is that
I
what
already
you said,
had
Joe?
one in my
Dos
refrigerator.
cervezas, por
You knew the
favor.
Mexicans
No,
were coming.
I
and you
like
bought
Corona. I like
You're
Corona. So I didn't have any limes. They were pleased about that. But I mean, one guy couldn't speak English.
They were unpleased. They almost slit your throat, I said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut off your leg and beat you with it.
You don't have no lime?
Anyway, they were nice guys, man. We had a good time. They were nice.
Until you fucked the lime.
Oh, jeez.
We're gonna have to get a beep going here, man.
Beep. We got his chops.
Yeah. Pew, pew, pew. That's what it is.
Warning.
Too. Yep.
You're on a 2-minute timeout there, Joe.
Go sit in the corner.
Momo, 2-minute timeout for Joe.
Oh wow, you guys drive me nuts sometimes. I try to steer the show the best way I can, but
Keep steering
it's
it, bud.
really hard. It's really
out of
hard.
There ain't no
today.
power steering on this
Yeah.
bus, buddy.
Yep.
We all live in a yellow Weaver bus.
The Yellow Weaver bus.
Nobody's gonna know what that is.
I know. That is a saying. That's an Ohio saying.
Yeah,
Or
that's
actually,
an
it's a
Akron
Summit
thing.
County
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Weavers were like basket weavers or whatever. If you
Weaver's just someone's last name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, anyway, that
Just like every other school.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Anyway, back into it. What do I got here? Back to democratic socialism. Everybody's like, oh my god, that's the new boogeyman.
Back to
apparently.
I'll tell you what the boogeyman is this flower seltzer I'm drinking here.
Yeah.
Yeah, flower seltzers.
Who'd have thought? Put a little bit of seltzer water in a can with some
Oh,
rum
it's
and sell it.
rosé.
puts a little sparkle in your eye, Joe.
Oh, jeez.
I'm tipsy.
Some pep in your step and a sparkle in your eye, Joe.
What is this about?
So fear. That's what we hear everywhere. Fear.
Fear drives everything. You remember talking about
Yes,
that?
I do. And apparently we have to stop fear. We need that American tough grit. We need that back.
Well, people,
And they think Trump is bringing that back,
people
apparently.
need to stop thinking that they're the most important thing in the world, too.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know what I
You are
mean?
not a special star.
Greed and self-centeredness.
We
is
all
the
want.
problem.
We all want the same thing.
And we all have it. I mean, it's inherent in us.
Yeah.
But people need to start checking themselves and going back to being nice to each other.
Yeah. like when we were little kids.
But we got to make fun of each other too.
That's fine.
I love doing that.
People can have a little
roll
thicker
with the
skin
punches.
too. Yeah, that's the other side of it.
Yes.
People don't need to be such sissies about everything because it's not a big deal.
Yeah, you just hurt my feelings. I'm leaving.
People, when you act like your house is just burned down because
my
somebody...
show, I don't care. I'm leaving.
Go.
And,
I know how to run this stuff.
A lot of online outrage.
Run it.
I'm going home, guys.
When somebody else's opinion triggers like a fight or flight response, that's a sign of illness. Like if that's how it is, like you got to heal, man, because you ain't having a good time.
You're emotionally scarred.
Yeah, it's like you gotta respect somebody else's perception in the world. It doesn't mean you have to live it with them. You can have an open dialogue if you're not mad about it.
Yeah.
Just get mad. What I mean? Go get bunch of $100 bills and put them under your bed. You'll be safe.
You know what? That reminds me of something I saw on Facebook earlier. My sister.
So they're under your bed, huh?
Yeah, $100. Oh, yeah.
My sister.
It's not $100 bills.
My sister don't post nothing on Facebook very often, but
it's
she
Momo.
posted something today. Her 5-year-old youngest son, I guess he said something to her like, "You're not very smart when you're mad. Nobody's smart when they're mad." This 5-year-old kid said that to his mom, is my sister,
That's profound.
Yeah. I mean...
the kids, we're not saying that. So, I mean, they're intelligent and they can... But
think about that. I just saw that an hour ago, and it's becoming relevant in the show right now in the flow of things. And what it comes down to is that usually when somebody's mad...
they're not thinking straight.
It's a fear... Right, but it's a fear strike that triggers that. There's something... that triggered a fight or flight with them, and it's a fear strike. It's a primal mental trigger, and it's something that's important, but it's also something that as intelligent sentient beings we can govern ourselves.
Do you think it's better to when you fear something to get angry, or do you think it's better to be recluse and go hide?
Well, that depends on what it is. You have to gauge that. If you act like your house is on fire every time somebody triggers you with their opinion online, you're not going to have a good time. You're not going to get anywhere with anything. If your house is actually burning down, react like your house is burning down, I guess. Even better if you don't. Even better if you don't. Basically, if it's something
keep level-headed.
Yeah, if it's something that should be a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10, if you can get yourself to where you're reacting to it like it's a 2, you're heading into some sort of a master territory.
So your house is on fire. You calmly come out of the house. You make sure to escape and stuff. Your dog and cat's in there.
I'm not talking about denial.
Police show up, and the ambulance and everybody shows up, and fire department. Yeah, no, you're like
it's my opinion.
You're like
agree to disagree.
You're like excuse me.
Alternate facts.
My house is on fire, and there's a few people in there. They might be dying, but it's okay.
What he's saying is this.
I'm not saying you should accept it.
No, as soon as a debate or a conversation triggers an emotional response from one party, the other party holds the power.
Right.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
If we're talking and I can hear you getting upset and inflection in your voice,
yeah,
I already know I got you.
Watch lawyers in court when they
you.
When they
don't got me when I punch you in the face.
No,
power's back to me now.
Apparently, I do.
Kick him in the nuts.
Right. It's like when you watch lawyers.
How
in court.
powerful you feel on the ground?
Like a lawyer that's cross-examining a witness.
Right.
They're going to try their best to confuse them and shake them up, and they know when they got their claws in, they know it, dude, and that's when they amp up because they're not even going full force till they see you start to react. And then
when you have an emotional response, boom, they hold the cards.
Right, that's when they pounce.
Yeah,
but it's the same thing in everything. And I'm
debating politics or anything like that. That's something to keep in mind too. If you really want to get good at debating politics with people or anything, keep a level head. Don't ever let it get into an emotional territory.
Or get comical and really piss them off.
Oh, you can do that too.
Or just agree with them. Okay, you're right. Yeah, you're right. That pisses people off.
It all goes down.
No, that ends the conversation.
It all goes down to primal response, and usually it's based in fear. So power structures know this. It's very well versed and practiced. It's obvious to people that are aware of it. And so what people need to do is really pay attention to information and critically analyze how important it really is and what agendas might be involved in it. You just got to look at everything. between the lines and what's not
Yeah,
written
don't-
and what
don't-
they're not saying.
Don't go into it like, I'm a Democrat and I'm going to go with whatever they say.
Well, that's
and then
identity
start-
Do your
politics.
research.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But when you do your research, don't like type in something that's like you think that
Why Bernie Sanders is always right.com.
right, yeah.
Right. Don't just accept information that backs your narrative to make you feel better.
Right, because the internet will give you
Yeah.
anything you want to
Well,
hear.
it's like people that are getting all their news from Facebook. It's like, no, look at this article. Yeah. Do you see it's coming from I only look at conservativemedia.com?
Babylon B.
Yeah, like, look, man.
Babylon B is
you know you're
satire.
being
It's-
delivered this misinformation
Yeah.
on purpose.
Babylon B is
because
satire.
you
I
buy
love
into it.
Yeah.
The Onion.
Yeah, the Onion's one that everybody knows because it used to be actual print. Anybody remember that?
Dang, man, it's the end of the show, guys. Wow. Just cranked out 30 minutes, man. Like to thank you guys for coming this week. Hopefully next week we'll be in it. You guys ready to go get something to eat? Man, I'm getting kind of hungry.
Momo, listen to the show.
Bob and Bob Show.
Go eat a pizza.
BobandBobShow.com.
Peace.
Check Bob and Bob Show. It's 22828.